So, hello everyone, and welcome to the Echo Podcast, where we talk about relevant topics of today's day and age in a not so formal way. है कि नहीं निले?
Yes. ज्यादा formal हम नहीं रहते. Anyway, so pandemic में, quite a lot of people got themselves into the stock market, right? Right. And so
Yep.
मेरे को FOMO ना हो, तो मैं भी stock market में घुस गया. And when I got
और
into
तेरे को फोमो ना हो तो मैं भी घुस गया.
best friends. Anyway, so when I got myself into the stock market, obviously I had a lot of questions. मैं engineering पढ़ रहा हूँ यार, and I have no idea about how stock market works. So obviously I went to my dad. He's he's into finance and all. So I got to know he's a very busy guy because I have a lot of questions and he has this much time. That gave me and Uday an idea that we should come up with something which should help people like us who are getting themselves into the stock market understand it in a bit more clarity from a person who is who himself is into the market for a decent amount of time. Hence we decided to keep this podcast. So without any ado, let's bring our guest speaker for the day, Mr. Pranav Batra.
Hi.
Very fancy entry.
Thanks, Nile. Thanks, Uday. It's an honor for me to be here. And I'll start with my basic introduction. So for all the investors that are seeing this podcast, I am currently in my year 3 of studies, and I'm doing my Bachelor's of Science in Banking and Finance from Singapore Institute of Management in Singapore. Also, I've been actively, as Nile already mentioned, like fear of missing out he had, that everyone was getting into the markets due to the pandemic. A lot of people got into the stock market and wanted to learn more about it. In a same manner, I was also very excited to learn, and I always had a passion for stock markets from a very young age. So I thought, it's a better time kya hoga. So I also got into the markets, and now I've been actively trading and investing in the Indian equity markets for the past 2 years, and also successfully managing my own house fund in the markets currently.
This kind of makes me feel मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ घर पे.
थोड़ा वो हो गया मेरे को अंदर.
Yes.
Shall we get started करें?
Yes.
एक simple and I guess एक बहुत basic question. I think I'll start off. तो हुआ ये जब when I actually got into markets and I was like nothing, कुछ नहीं, मेरे को कुछ पता ही नहीं था यार, zero knowledge. So, and this was a very casual conversation between me and Nile once, and Nile went कि यार stock market it तो fine है, but stock होता क्या है यार, वो stock तो मतलब बता. And I think I would like to know. तो मैंने, because I did not have any answer. मैंने कहा यार तू दे मेरे को एक दिन, मैं सर्च करके बताता हूँ.
Pranav Batra to the rescue.
Yes.
Pranav Batra, please tell me what is the stock.
Okay, so बिल्कुल basic से शुरू करते हैं. Like let's take an example that one goes onto Google and searches the term stock. The reply that Google gives you is a stock represents a ownership in a publicly listed company. अब ये तो definition हो गई. Now I'll break this down for all the new investors here in a much more simpler manner. We'll try to understand this with one example. Let's say I want to invest into HDFC Bank. Okay. यहाँ पे सबको पता है HDFC Bank. It's the largest private bank in the country. So if I go and buy one stock of HDFC Bank, that makes me a part owner of HDFC Bank. Okay, a part owner. And I will be called a shareholder in HDFC Bank's books. And how will I make money off of that? So when I buy one stock, what does it mean? It means that I am a part owner of HDFC Bank. Now, any profit that HDFC Bank makes, they have to pay me a part share of that to the amount of stocks that I own from them. So that's basically what a stock is for you. And if you have any more questions from your end regarding the same?
Questions का तो नहीं पता, but I'm very happy that I'm a part owner of 5 now.
Yes.
Oh, चलो तो okay. तो again ये तो आपने बता दिया मेरे को यार कि stocks is what makes me, if I buy one stock of HDFC Bank, which I do actually. I do have a stock. I do have, I think, 2 shares of HDFC Bank, I'm a very proud owner of 2 shares. So, लेकिन I think for me as a, let's say, as a 20-year-old, I think I got into the stock market at a very, like, I wouldn't say very bad age, but I think I could have gotten early. But then again, should I even have got into stocks?
Okay.
Even there are other aspects.
Okay, so that's a very interesting question, and I'll take a couple of minutes to answer this. So please.
Okay.
First of all, your assumption that Uday, you're only 20 years old and maybe you've gotten late to invest into equity markets. I can guarantee you're above 99.9% of the people in the country. Our parents, they started investing, or the people I know, they started investing when they got their first job after 26, 27, 30, 45. I know people who started investing when they were 60 years old. So if you're starting investing when you're 18, 19, 20, 21, that can give you a very significant advantage over others, which we will discuss on later. Okay, so now I'll take a very simple example. Why should one invest? Why should one invest their money, right? So जैसे कि हम सबके पेरेंट्स एंड ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स दे हैव अ वेरी सिंपल फंडा इन लाइफ कि एक्स्ट्रा पैसा है, मेरे पास 1 लाख रुपए एक्स्ट्रा आ गए, फिक्स डिपॉजिट करा दो इसकी, क्या कहते हैं, थोड़ा बहुत रिटर्न आ जाएगा. But the point that people and they don't realize is कि जब आप 1 लाख रुपए बैंक में फिक्स डिपॉजिट करवाते हो, currently in India फिक्स डिपॉजिट का इंटरेस्ट रेट आपको मिलता है about 4.5% and 5% के आसपास. कैलकुलेशन की सिंप्लिसिटी के लिए लेट्स कीप इट एट 5%. After 1 year, you get back 1,05,000 rupees from your bank with interest of 5%. Very good. Now everyone is happy. 5,000 रुपए पड़े मिल गए, और क्या चाहिए? But now the catch is that the inflation numbers in India right now are about slightly over 6%. So when you go to buy anything from that 1,05,000, initially after 1 year, आपकी purchasing power कम हो गई. आपको 1,000 का लॉस ही हुआ परचेजिंग पावर में. आपको खरीद ही नहीं पाओगे सामान जो आप 1 साल पहले खरीद सकते थे. इसलिए दैट इज वन ऑफ द मेन रीजंस व्हाई इन्वेस्टिंग इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. इफ यू पुट योर so there's a general benchmark in equities where the topic that we're discussing today, an average return on investment that people take is up to 12 to 15% every single year. That to compounded annual growth return. So here you're defeating inflation approximately 2 times if you even go on the conservative side of 12%. Okay, and why I'm saying 12% is the reason because the Nifty benchmark, the benchmark index of the stock market, जिसको हम Nifty 50 बोलते हैं, वो पिछले 20-25 सालों से आपको क्या कहते हैं 12% रिटर्न देती है कंपाउंडेड एनुअल ग्रोथ पे. तो जब आपका इंडेक्स 12% देता है तो आपके स्टॉक्स उससे ज्यादा ही देंगे आपको. Yeah, so that's the basic funda कि क्यों यंगस्टर्स को और क्यों सबको अपनी इन्वेस्टमेंट्स को ध्यान से लेना चाहिए एंड इन्वेस्ट करना शुरू करना चाहिए.
So I guess so what me and Uday have done, we are doing right. We are not too late Uday. At least कहीं तो मेरा 99.9% आया. So okay, given that I've gotten myself into the stock market and I'm obviously relatively new. It's been what 3-4 months, something like that. What are the key factors or key things that I as a early investor should keep in mind when getting myself into the world of stock?
Okay. So Nilay, one of the key mistakes that I've seen from a lot of people, and one of the key mistakes that I also made in my initial year, is I had unrealistic expectations. A lot of people have unrealistic expectations from the stock markets. They are like कि आज मैंने 10,000 रुपए डाले and अगले महीने मेरे को 15,000 मिलने चाहिए.
Definitely not me.
Yes. So they're expecting a 50% return in 1 month from their investment, which might be possible. Okay, in the short term, I can say with luck, some people might be able to generate that return, but on a long-term basis, that is not sustainable. वो possible ही नहीं है. So that is why one of the key mistakes people make is कि expectations अपनी realistic रखो. अगर आपको आपका index 12% दे रहा है और आप compounded अपना पैसा 14 से 15%, मैं हायर नंबर बोल रहा हूँ 14 से 15%, अगर आप 12-13% भी ग्रो करोगे सिर्फ इंडेक्स इन्वेस्टिंग से, वो भी आपकी मनी को इतनी जल्दी डबल कर सकता है दैट यू विल नॉट रियलाइज, बिकॉज compounding kicks into place.
Fair enough. I mean, yes, I was the victim to that thought process. 10,000 का 15,000 हो जाना चाहिए पापा. But clearly I was wrong. And yes, I learned that the hard way when 10,000 का 10,500 ही हुआ. So, now
मेरा
that
तो उल्टा हो गया ना, मेरा तो 10,000 का 1,500 हो गया.
let's not get into that, sir.
Yes,
Considering the current times. All right, so we have gotten over the fact कि stock market में घुसना चाहिए कि नहीं, and I mean we obviously answered that very well. But how much time would you say one should give?
Okay.
To the market, and I mean I'm not saying the research part, analysis part, but just in general, how much time one should invest in stock market and all.
Okay, so look, I'll answer this question by giving two examples. I will assume that we are talking to two different types of people who are watching this podcast. One being who is very passionate about equities and stocks, and he wants to learn more, and he's very curious about them, and he wants to make a career out of it. Not even a career, but then he wants to do this as a part-time thing. Okay, he wants to devote his time. Then for him, I would say he should enter the market as soon as possible. Okay, maybe start next month, next week. And whenever you start, an estimate time that I could give them for the first 6 months, 8 months to 1 year, right? I think 8 months is a very fair number in my opinion. Would be more than enough for one to learn the basics of the markets. I mean, I'm only talking about the basics of the markets. To become a professional player in the market, there are people who have been investing and trading in the stock markets for the previous 20 years, and still they are not able to crack the code. Okay, so that's why I'm saying, just to get the basics around and have a basic knowledge of stock markets, approximate a 6 to 8 month time period is what I would recommend to new investors. Now, this is for first kind of people who are passionate about markets. Now, what if the new investors that are seeing this video, they are not so passionate about markets, yet they just want to know very basic stuff about markets, and they want to grow their extra income that they have. So the right way for them is to give about 1 month to markets, learn the basic terms of the markets, and then give your money to a fund manager. What I mean by a fund manager is give your money into mutual funds. Okay, select a top class mutual fund, get some recommendations from your parents or from someone, or some trusted advisor, or the best would be a financial advisor, someone who's certified to advise you with such topics. And then put your money into a mutual fund. That would be one of the easiest ways for someone who's not so interested in equity markets, but would still want to grow their income at a very good pace. Yeah.
So you mentioned mutual funds, and that brought me out of a situation recently. So me and my friend, we were obviously talking about stock market and all, and he mentioned something that what I'm not doing basically. What he does is he takes around 2,000, 2,500 rupees every month and puts it into mutual funds or wherever he's investing. And obviously, as mentioned, what I do is just every month and a half, I try buy, sell. You know the drill. So my question would be, stock market investing or stock market trading?
Okay, fair enough. So same isme bhi, I'll give you two examples. It's a personal preference, honestly, whether you like stock market trading or stock market investing. But if you become a stock market trader, so pehle, let me explain ki stock market trader hota kya hai. If you're buying a stock today and let's say you're selling it tomorrow, if you're buying a stock today and selling it after 1 month or after 6 months, you will be considered a stock market trader. Okay, so this is the first scenario. Second, if you buy a stock and sell it after 1 year, or if you buy a stock and sell it after 5 years or 20 years, then you will be considered as a investor into the markets, because you are in it for the long-term play of the game, right? So in stock market trading, one who is passionate about markets and has a lot of time, only they can get into the markets. Because if you're a trader, you need to watch the markets very, very frequently. I'm not saying that you need to watch the markets every single day, but you need to have an overview of the markets on a weekly basis minimum if you're a stock market trader. Okay. As in the other scenario, if you're a stock market investor, you do not need to watch the markets every month, every week, or every day, right? You could simply watch the quarterly reports of the companies that you're investing in. And every 6 months or every 1 year, you could take a decision on your analysis, whether you want to stay invested into the company, whether you want to take your money out, or whether you want to put in more money into the company, assuming the company is still doing well. Okay. So it's a personal preference. If you ask me, mera personal preference kya hai? Because I'm too much into equity markets and I have the time right now. That's why I prefer stock market trading right now. Yep.
Fair enough. Even I'm a stock market trader like that. I mean, sure, my research and analysis is done by my dad, but nobody's asking. Anyway, so okay, I still have a lot of questions, but I guess we'll leave that for episode 2. Yes, we're having an episode 2 also with Mr. Pranav Batra. This is a wrap from us, the Echo Podcast, for episode 1 of the Stocks Podcast, if I may say so. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for Pranav. We hope to see you in second episode as well.
Definitely. Thanks, Nilay.
Let's do episode 2 there. Cheers.